Divine Insights, How Miraculous Karma Revealed the Sacred Truth Behind Early Death in 40 Days. In the quaint village of Little Harkwood, an ancient stone chapel stood like a lighthouse against the backdrop of despair. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting an ethereal glow around Clara as she knelt before the altar, clutching a rosary in trembling hands. Burdened by sorrow, she implored the heavens for her beloved son, David, whose laughter once filled their home but now was eerily quiet due to a rare and terminal illness. "Lord, grant us mercy," she cried, her voice reverberating through the weathered rafters. It was a prayer that shook the very air around her, a plea that seemed to stir the presence of the divine. Suddenly, the flickering candles began to dance, illuminating her tear-streaked face with a holy luminescence. Clara felt warmth enveloping her, as if celestial spirits had gathered, whispering comfort into the depths of her despair. As late summer days waned, the townsfolk joined Clara in nightly vigils beneath the chapel's stone archways. Each flickering candle represented not just hope but collective anguish, binding them together like tendrils of a sacred vine. "Street Hilda, hear our prayers," echoed among the villagers, a chant that heightened their urgency for a miracle. But Clara's spirit began to tremble and doubt. A haunting shadow loomed as she witnessed David's spirited nature slowly dimming. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. On one particularly poignant evening, Clara felt an overwhelming rush of energy surge through the chapel, a moment that stilled the hearts of all present. In a flash, she envisioned faces of loved ones lost, spirits woven into the very fabric of their beliefs. These fleeting shadows whispered secrets into her heart, revealing a divine symphony singing of sacred truths nestled within their suffering. Clara gasped, her eyes widening as clarity brushed against her soul, a vision that felt both heavy and light at once. As the 40th day approached with a shroud of uncertainty, Clara felt urged to share her revelations. The villagers leaned in, captivated and desperate for hope. Yet, tension crackled like electric air. Would God grant them a miracle? Would David's gentle spirit renew amidst their collective faith? Clara fought a fierce internal battle between hope and despair. Her soul longed for the truth only the divine could reveal. Moments stretched into hours as they prayed fervently together, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. Clara's heart raced, pulsing with the rhythm of faith, while doubt clawed at her sleeves. But then, an extraordinary event unfolded just when hope began to fade. Glowing light enveloped David's room, a beacon of indescribable holiness. Clara knew then that the sacred mystery of life and death had drawn near, poised to transform their journey forever. With the dawn of the 40th day rising, Clara stood at the precipice of faith's greatest challenge. Would love prove powerful enough to shield her from fate? Would healing descend from the heavens, or would a deeper truth emerge from the fragile tapestry of life? The villagers remained steadfast, their prayers weaving a shroud around Clara, a sacred community, a family united in the face of uncertainty. As dawn broke, she braced herself for an encounter with the divine that could reshape their understanding of everything they believed. As dawn's gentle light spilled through the chapel's stained glass, painting vivid colors on the stone floor, Clara felt a stirring within her spirit. Each beam of sunshine seemed to whisper encouragement, as if the heavens themselves conspired for the miracle she so desperately sought. She inhaled deeply, the sweet scent of incense lingering in the air, a reminder of the prayers that had risen like smoke into the divine. The village stood in reverential silence, gathered outside the chapel. Some clutched their palms together, while others simply gazed with hope etched on their faces. With every tick of the clock, Clara sensed time stretching. Today was not merely another day, it was the day that held the weight of their collective faith. The 40 days had brought them to this pivotal moment, a crossing point where despair met hope head-on. Clara's heart raced as she approached David's room, the air thick with unspoken prayers. She hesitated at the threshold, her mind swirling with uncertainty. Memories of David's laughter echoed in her ears, sparking a fire of determination within her. "If only he could return to me," she murmured, grasping the rosary tighter, her fingers brushing against the cool beads that represented each prayer uttered for him. The villagers awaited outside, their shared energy pooling together a tapestry of faith and fear. "What will happen?" someone whispered, breaking the stillness. Their collective consciousness vibrated with anticipation, a silent chant of please, Lord. Inside the room, the ethereal light pulsed with life, a heartbeat of the divine. Clara stepped forward, feeling the warmth radiate from the glow. It enveloped her, wrapping her in a blanket of peace. As she reached David's bedside, she found him nestled peacefully, his frail form illuminated by the holy light. In that instant, Clara felt an undeniable connection to something far greater than herself. Time seemed to stand still. She was no longer just a mother begging for her child's life but a vessel through which divine love permeated. Suddenly, she glimpsed a figure, a silhouette framed in the radiant glow. A presence, gentle yet powerful, hovered near David. Clara's breath caught in her throat, a surge of hope mixed with an overwhelming sense of awe. Is this an angel, she thought, as the air around her crackled with a divine energy that felt like a warm embrace. What do you seek, dear mother? The voice resonated softly, echoing with a clarity that brought both grief and solace. Clara looked into the face of the figure, seeing not only compassion but wisdom that reached into the very depths of her heart. Please. I ask for my son, she implored, her voice trembling with a mixture of faith and fear. Lord, show us the way. Restore David to us, or grant me the strength to accept your will. Each word was a layer of her soul laid bare, a bridge between the human heart and the divine. In that moment, Clara felt an understanding awaken within her. It was a truth that transcended earthly pain, a gentle reminder that love, in all its forms, never truly fades. Life and death were intertwined in a sacred dance, a journey toward something more profound than what they could see. As the figure's presence began to fade, it left behind an echo of hope, a whisper that resonated in Clara's heart. It is not the end, but a beautiful transformation. Clara stood there, her tears flowing freely, a mixture of joy and sorrow blending within her. She had come to a crossroads, faced with a challenge of faith that demanded to be embraced. What did that revelation mean for her beloved son, for the village, and for the very essence of their beliefs? Would they understand the deeper truth hidden in this sacred journey? The dawn had brought light, yet the horizon held mysteries yet to unfold, urging Clara onward into the unknown. With the figure now fading into a luminous mist, Clara felt the heaviness in her heart transform. The warmth that enveloped her wasn't just the glow of the light, it radiated a profound peace that urged her to rejoice and lament all at once. She knelt beside David, the world around him quiet except for the soft rustle of the leaves outside the chapel, where the village waited with bated breath. Clara placed her hand over David's, feeling the thinness of his fingers against her skin. She closed her eyes, envisioning their past together, the days spent in laughter and the nights filled with his sweet dreams as he slept by her side. A bittersweet smile crept onto her face. She sensed moments that were not just precious memories but tiny threads of divinity weaving their lives together. Not the end, she whispered, tasting the truth in her own words. She recalled the figure's reminder of transformation, and those words resonated deep within, echoing her own yearning for connection with the divine. As she opened her eyes again, a Christ-like peace settled in her heart. She wiped her tears, resolving not to dwell solely on loss but to embrace the lessons inherent in this journey. For an instant, the chapel's walls seemed to pulse, as if sharing in her revelation, the light growing with each breath she took. Meanwhile, outside, the villagers sensed the shift. Murmurs rose, the energy vibrating like the string of a harp tuning to a new melody. Each soul was sacred, each person was discovering their own whispers of hope in this moment. What will she do? Someone asked. Pray. That is all we need to do, another replied, their words laced with unwavering faith. Clara stood, feeling called to the window where nature painted a vibrant picture of the new day. The sun began to climb, its rays penetrating through the stained glass, casting intricate patterns on the stones. Each color whispered promises of change, rebirth, and love. She turned her gaze back to David, still cradled in his fragile sleep. You are loved, my sweet boy, no matter what form that love takes. Her heart swelled as she embraced both what was and what could be. The village, gathered in prayer and mutual support, nourished the spirit of the moment, creating a sanctified space where divine awareness shimmered with possibility. Driven by an unexpected courage, Clara stepped out of the room. She approached the villagers, feeling the power of a united front before her. Beloved friends, her voice resonated above the quiet worry, we have shared laughter, tears, and prayers. And today, we must continue that journey together. Cheers erupted, harmonizing with their collective hope, woven tightly in faith. Clara felt every heartbeat around her and she knew they were not alone. Come, let us gather in prayer. Let us offer gratitude for our blessings and seek understanding of all that lies ahead, she called out, her heart aflame with purpose. As they formed circles, arms wrapped around one another, Clara's spirit soared. She led them in prayer, invoking divine presence, guidance, and healing. In moments of silence, she could feel the electricity crackling in the air, binding them together in a tapestry of faith. Where there is love, there is hope, she proclaimed softly, and the villagers repeated after her, feeling the sacred promise resonate within them. Yet, within Clara's heart stirred a question that would not let go: what transformation awaited David, and what path lay ahead for them all? A divine connection was beginning, she could sense it like the first breath after a long-awaited embrace. Would they all accept the mystery together? Would divine insight unfold in their lives in ways they could never have imagined? The answers awaited them just beyond the horizon of understanding. The gentle murmur of the villagers surrounded Clara as she led them in prayer, their voices intertwining like melodies in a sacred hymn. Each face glowed with shared hope, an unspoken understanding passing through the circle, binding them in a common purpose. They were standing at the threshold of something greater, just as dawn breaks over the horizon, illuminating what once was shrouded in darkness. Lord, guide us. Clara's voice soared above them, echoing hope and uncertainty. Teach us to see beyond what our eyes can grasp. Help us locate the beauty in this profound sorrow. The air felt charged, as if the chapel itself listened intently, a witness to this divine communion. After a moment of silence, a voice from the crowd arose. It was young Lee, his face a mixture of innocence and wisdom. Is death the end, Mrs. Clara? Or is it a new beginning? His eyes searched hers, and Clara could see the flicker of understanding, the deep longing for truth mirrored in his gaze. She paused, contemplating the weight of his words. Sometimes, my dear, she began, we must traverse through sorrow to catch a glimpse of the extraordinary. Death can be a doorway. It transforms us in ways we cannot always see. The truth hung in the air, creating ripples of reflection among them. Out of the corner of her eye, Clara saw the villagers nodding, their expressions shifting from fear to thoughtfulness. A collective breath swept through the group as they absorbed her words, digesting them like a fresh promise. What if David has only begun to influence our lives from another realm? Clara mused softly. Might he be a guiding star in our darkness? A reminder of the love we still carry? A twinkling of reassuring light danced in the stained glass, casting vibrant reflections that spun around the room like whispers from heaven. As each villager considered Clara's revelation, a sense of palpable peace began to settle. They could feel more than their present reality, they felt David too, threading through their thoughts, hope warming their hearts. Let us not forget the power of love that unites us, Clara declared, her voice filled with renewed fervor. Today, we practice love to transcend despair. Let our faith in David, in one another, be a bridge to wherever he may be. As their prayer intensified, Clara felt a wave of energy wash over them all. Each heartbeat harmonized with a promise echoing through the chapel. They were not just praying for David's healing, but for all who had ever faced loss. The villagers clasped hands tighter, their spirits entwined, creating a channel that connected them to the infinite. Let us remember, Clara reminded them, that through every ending, God offers a chance for new beginnings. Change is the dance of the divine. A steady hum of agreement rose, a chorus of faith enveloping the sacred space. We are alive for a reason, carrying pieces of our lost loved ones with us, said an elder at the edge of the circle, voice tremoring with deep conviction. Inspired, Clara stepped forward, a resolve strengthening within her. We shall seek the meaning in our trials. For we are a people of hope. Today, we honor not just David, but the lives of all who remind us to live fully, express love boldly, and embrace change with an open heart. As the villagers exchanged glances filled with renewed purpose, a deep stillness emerged. The once frenetic energy yielded to an awareness that their collective spirit had expanded. They were being drawn into something deep and profound, a divine mystery awaiting their embrace. Clara felt the stirring in her soul, there were whispers of destiny within. She realized in her heart that this was just the beginning of a journey, a pilgrimage through pain towards enlightenment. What hidden gifts await us in this chapter of our lives? She pondered quietly, her heart poised to receive. The mystery drew closer, enveloping them in a shroud of wonder. Would they find the courage needed to delve deeper into the realities of life, death, and everything in between? Time would reveal all. As the prayer continued, a hush fell over the villagers, a silence ripe with anticipation. Clara stood amidst them, her heart thrumming like a pulsing drum of unity. The release of shared emotion created a sacred vibration that flowed like a gentle river. Each person felt it, an unmistakable connection weaving through them, knitting hearts together in the mystique of hope. Clara opened her eyes, her gaze piercing through the stained glass that glimmered overhead. Sunlight streamed in, refracting colors that danced on the chapel floor. Bright yellows, serene blues, and fiery reds mingled, forming a kaleidoscope of divine grace. It was as if heaven itself was affirming their gathering, breathing life into their newfound purpose. Sometimes, she spoke gently, the hardest lessons bring us the most profound insights. Her words carried a weight, impressing their importance upon the crowd. In the face of sorrow, we must remember that our souls are hungry for understanding, for love that transcends this earthly experience. Clara felt a tremor of conviction as she continued, the journey through grief births resilience, and within that resilience lies our strength. One after another, the villagers began to share their own stories of lost remembrances of loved ones who had left this world but remained vibrant in their hearts. Clara listened, moved by their shared vulnerability. Each testimony unwrapped layers of grief and transformed it into a celebration of love. Lee spoke again, his voice trembling yet firm. "Mrs. Clara, if love never dies, and we carry our loved ones with us, then what matters most is how we live now, right?" He looked around, emboldened by the collective energy, eyes bright with understanding. "Yes, my brave Lee," Clara replied, her heart swelling with pride. "Every heartbeat, every moment spent in love is a step we take towards healing. We honor those who have passed not just by remembering them, but by living fully in their honor." An elder, with tears glistening like dew on spring grass, raised a hand. "Clara, dear, a thought just surfaced. If we are all connected by love, does this not also mean we are called to share each other's burdens? To walk beside each other in the darkest valleys?" "Yes. That's exactly it," Clara exclaimed, though her voice softened with reverence. "We are meant to be mirrors of grace for one another. To uplift, to comfort, and above all to love. In love, the divine tapestry of existence is woven together." The villagers nodded, hearts resonating in agreement. In that sacred space, something miraculous began to stir. They started to grasp that in their collective sorrow and shared experiences lay unfathomable strength. A symphony of whispered amens and heart-warmed affirmations filled the air, creating an atmosphere thick with divine anticipation. Clara felt the air shift with the turn of their hearts. There was power in transparency in surrendering their burdens to one another and realizing that grief, when shared, could transform into a profound connection. "Let us make a commitment," she declared, her voice echoing like a gentle trumpet call. "To share in each other's joys and sorrows, as the body of Christ, united in love. Let us carry forth the light of our loved ones, illuminating the path for those who walk with us." As if orchestrated by divine intent, the villagers gathered closer, forming a tighter circle, hearts open and hands joined in a visible manifestation of their intentions. "What if?" Clara mused aloud, her mind swirling with the thrilling breadth of realization. What if mastery over our grief opens doors to insights we have yet to comprehend? What if the very act of loving leads us to profound revelations that shape our lives? A stillness enveloped them again, yet this time it pulsated with electric wonder. The moment hung suspended, pregnant with potential. Would they find the wisdom that eluded them in their sorrow? Would their journey reveal connections far deeper than they expected? And as that divine mystery hung before them, Clara could sense the rippling waves of change rising. On the horizon, what revelations awaited them? Their hearts stirred at the possibilities, each filled with questions that teased the edges of faith, eager to discover what lay ahead. An overwhelming wave of silence washed over the villagers, their hearts beating as one in the cocoon of sacred harmony. Clara could feel the palpable tension, each soul poised between the familiar weight of sorrow and the beckoning hope of collective healing. The moment held its breath, asking the question that lay hidden in each of their hearts: what are we truly capable of? The sun beamed brighter, rays flooding through the chapel's colorful glass, manifesting a sense of divine acceptance. Clara inhaled deeply, allowing the atmosphere to fill her lungs, her spirit buoyed by the divine energy fluttering around them. In our struggles, we are called to seek the sacred truth hidden in the depths of our experiences, she said softly, her voice threaded with tenderness. An unexpected shout broke through the reverence, echoing with fervor. But what if embracing our sorrow means facing it, confronting our fears? It was Lily, her bright spirit now dulled by the shadow of grief. Her eyes glimmered with uncertainty. Clara's heart resonated with Lily's doubt. That's where our true courage rests. To walk through the fire of pain, knowing we don't walk alone, she responded, warming to Lily's honesty. In faith, we learn there is beauty even in ashes. There is always something to gain, even when life seems heavy. The villagers leaned in closer, each breath synchronizing, giving voice to the common weight they bore. Clara sensed a rising tide of understanding, the very essence of their pain morphing into a shared narrative of growth. Every sorrow is a seed sown for joy. It is up to us how we cultivate it, Clara declared, her eyes sparkling with the hope ignited in her own heart. One by one, they opened up, vulnerabilities cascading like melting snow in spring. Elder Agnes spoke of her late husband, a gentle reminder of love wrapped tightly in memory. He taught me that life does not end with the grave. His spirit is here, whispering in the wind, guiding my steps, she said, her voice warm with nostalgia. And every tear we cry waters the roots of our connection, chimed in Richard, his joy rising like sunbeams breaking through dark clouds. Clara felt the truth of his words resonate. Together they were becoming a garden of resilience, each sharing nourishing the burgeoning faith among them. A ghost of a smile touched Clara's lips as she felt the power building. Their hearts, once heavy with longing, began to sway in unison, pivoting toward a new understanding. What if embracing grief as a part of our journey is the key to uncovering hidden blessings? What if there is so much more waiting just beyond the sorrow? In that moment, the chapel transformed into hallowed earth, a holy ground where love and loss mingled. They were warriors of faith, declaring fiercely that their grief would not chain them but would instead propel them into the light of revelation. Hearts flickered with an incandescent glow, painting their silhouettes with divine possibility. Let us now discover what these revelations mean for us, Clara breathed, sensing the eagerness and intrigue weaving through the congregation. Moments of enlightenment can eclipse our darkest hours, leading us toward something transformative. A collective energy surged as they all clasped hands, promises intertwining like ivy around ancient oak. Together, let us find what lies ahead, even if the path shadows us, Clara uttered, her chant of faith now a rallying seer wide as their voices intertwined in a chorus of hope. Clara sensed a gentle stir in the air, a whisper of what was to come. But what would happen, friends, if we truly embrace this journey? What if the act of loving fully uncovers truths that can shatter our limitations and redefine our lives? In that question lingered the tantalizing possibility that the next chapter of their journey held within it answers far beyond their current understanding. As they held hands tightly, Clara felt an electric energy pulsing around them, wrapping them in a tapestry of connection. The chapel, once a place of mourning, bloomed with the fragrance of hope. Each villager's heart beat a rhythm of unity, a symphony composed of dreams and sorrows forged anew. Can you feel it? Clara asked, her voice a soft, reverent whisper. The villagers nodded, their faces lit with a collective realization. It was as if a veil had been lifted, opening their eyes not just to pain but to the resilience that could blossom from it. In the midst of this sacred moment, Clara spoke again, let us lean in closer to the whispers of the Spirit, for it is here we may find our purpose. The words danced in the air, mingling with the flickering candlelight cast shadows that looked alive, as if the chapel itself were responding. One by one, stories began to unfurl like petals in the sun. Jonah, the smith, stepped forward, his brow furrowed in thought. You know, he began, voice trembling like the blades he forged, I lost my son just as he was becoming a man. The grief, it felt insurmountable. Yet in my darkest hours, I found a new family among you all, a purpose I never expected. His eyes glistened, reflecting a truth that stirred the heart of everyone present. Clara encouraged him, and in his absence, perhaps you have gained a new kind of strength? Aye, Jonah replied breathlessly. I honor his memory by living for more than myself. The light in the chapel grew ever more intense as others chimed in, affirming their journeys. Every act of kindness, every shared moment, every small victory reminds us our loved ones live on in our hearts, murmured Eliza, her voice quaking with the weight of emotion. It's as if their light shines through us all. Clara nodded, her spirit lifting as if borne by wings, feeling the fabric of their grief shifting. This is the beauty I speak of. Our pain has transmuted into purpose, and through this process, we are crafting something divine. The collective realization vibrated within the walls of the chapel. It was no longer just a place of worship, it had morphed into a sanctuary of healing, awakened by their shared stories and unified voices. Then, a hush enveloped them once more as Clara's gaze turned toward the stained glass window depicting a radiant angel showering blessings. What if this gift we shared today is merely a whisper of the greater truth waiting for us? She proposed. What if the next step in our journey unravels a miracle we have yet to witness? A murmur rippled through the villagers, each one feeling the promise of a divine revelation pulling at the threads of their spirits. They were no longer mere survivors, they were seekers of the extraordinary. Among them stood Richard, breathing deeply with newfound clarity. What if these sorrows are not just burdens but portals to deeper understanding? Could we be on the precipice of something incredible, perhaps even realizing a purpose intertwined with the divine design? Excitement coursed through Clara as she sensed the flame of anticipation igniting. Yes, Richard. Each moment can hold a miracle if we dare to let it. Together, we are not bound by loss but freed by a journey that lifts us up. Let us step forward into the unknown with open hearts. The chapel pulsed with life, each heart aligned in faith. With every clasped hand and hopeful glance, Clara marveled at the transformation unfolding. They were at a threshold, ready to delve deeper into their collective mystery. Let us trust that the very act of embracing love and loss will unlock secrets far greater than our understanding, Clara breathed, her heart alight with expectation. But as the sun began to set, casting a golden light through the chapel, the air thickened with suspense. What truths lie hidden just beyond our grasp? What miraculous karma awaits, beckoning us to awaken to an even grander purpose? Those questions hung in the air, palpable and shimmering. Each villager held their breath, a heart in unison, ready to embark on the journey that could redefine their lives forever. Clara closed her eyes for a moment, allowing the warmth of the sun's rays to wash over her. In that stillness, she felt an even deeper connection with her friends, as if their very souls intertwined, forming a chain of hope that reached into the heavens. The flickering candles cast dancing shadows, illuminating the villagers' faces, each reflecting a flicker of understanding and the desire for more. Let us not fear the unknown, she finally spoke again, her voice a gentle breeze carrying her faith. What awaits us is a path paved with understanding, love, and perhaps, revelation. Jonah raised his hand, the roughness of his palm a testament to his labor, yet softened by grief. What if we took a moment to send forth our prayers, asking for clarity? His words resonated in the chapel, igniting a collective yearning among the villagers. Yes. Clara agreed, her heart racing. Let us offer our hopes, our desires for understanding, into the sacred air. One by one, they began to lift their voices, intertwining their prayers like the delicate branches of a tree that shares both its beauty and its strength. The room filled with heartfelt whispers, flowing upward, touching the very fabric of the divine. Each prayer a seed, planted with faith in fertile ground, awaiting the rain of grace to nourish them. A soft wind began to swirl within the chapel. Clara opened her eyes, feeling a gentle caress against her cheeks. Can you feel that? She asked, a breathless excitement catching in her throat. The villagers nodded, eyes wide in wonder, aware that something extraordinary was unfurling around them. It was Richard who spoke next, his voice steady, yet vibrant with joy. I have come to understand that our journeys don't just lead us to ourselves, but to the divine light shining through us. Each of us carries our loved one's lights. What if we could channel that truth to reach a higher understanding? A shiver of recognition waved through the group. Clara's heart soared. His words had opened a gate to possibilities they had not considered. Yes. There is such depth in what you say. Our purpose intertwines with theirs, even in their absence. Suddenly, the air turned electric. Clara could feel it pulse in her veins. With every prayer sent forth, it felt as if the very angels were gathering around them, listening with bated breath. Then from the silence, a soft voice emerged. It was Eliza. What if our prayers are not just channels of our desires, but also invitations to those we've lost? What if they guide us from beyond? Her insight crackled in the air like lightning. Brought to life by their collective dreams, it echoed through the chapel, bouncing off the walls, transforming the space into a sacred meeting ground. In that moment, a profound stillness fell over them, leaving space for contemplation. Clara felt the weight of their shared sorrow begin to lift, replaced by a divine strength uniting each villager. They were no longer individual souls burdened by grief, they became a chorus of light, a gathering of beings united towards a splendid dawn. What if the truth we seek is not just about understanding loss, Clara murmured, but also about discovering the presence of love that transcends even death? Her words breathed life into the room, igniting hearts. The realization washed over them, revealing a deeper connection, one that transformed sorrow into joy. Each face glowed with anticipation, a radiance born from the depth of their revelations. As their collective breath held, Clara said softly, "What if tomorrow brings the first whispers of truth we've longed for?" Each heart skipped a beat at the thought. The dawn to come held mysteries beyond imagining, a promise of revelation, an invitation to witness the profound interplay of grief and grace. They felt it in their very bones, the stirring of something beautiful just beyond reach, and then the chapel door creaked, as if the wind itself had come to join their circle. Clara turned toward the sound, curiosity sparking in her chest. What's waiting for us beyond that door? What new journey beckons? The villagers leaned forward, eyes shining with anticipation, ready to explore the divine revelations that awaited them. The door swung open with a gentle creak, revealing a light that danced like the flickering candles within the chapel. The villagers held their breath, captivated by the brilliance that spilled into their sacred space. It felt to Clara as if the light was alive, a welcoming embrace calling them to step outside. "Shall we go?" Clara asked, her voice steady with purpose. It felt like an invitation not just to explore, but to embark on a journey woven by fate itself. The villagers nodded, a shared understanding pulsing in the air with each step they took. The gentle wind accompanied them, whispering secrets of hope and renewal. They walked together, a band of seekers connected by love and memories, their hearts intertwined like vines climbing a beautiful trellis. Outside, the village spread beneath them, peaceful and serene, with the golden hues of sunset casting a warm glow across the fields. "Look!" Jonah pointed to the horizon where the sun dipped lower, painting the sky with strokes of pink and orange. "Is that not the promise of a new day?" His eyes sparkled, bright and alive with the potential unfolding before them. Clara smiled, feeling the warmth of his words seep through her. "It is more than that, Jonah. It is the light of futures yet to be written. If we embrace this path, we may arrive at revelations waiting just for us." As they walked, Clara could sense the spiritual atmosphere thickening, as if energies beyond comprehension were aligning around them. Each villager, holding on to their private prayers, began to share their stories aloud, memories interwoven with love and letdowns, each revealing fragments of their healed hearts. "I lost my sister last spring," Eliza's voice cracked slightly, but her spirit remained unyielding. "For so long, I thought her absence would break me. But now, I feel her guiding me. What if, through us, she finds peace?" Clara felt a rush of gratitude as the villagers listened intently, sharing not just grief but also the light each story bore. One by one, they began to acknowledge their connection to the enduring love of those who had passed, transforming pain into sacred remembrance. Suddenly, a gust of wind swirled around them, carrying with it voices that seemed to whisper Clara's name. She paused and placed a hand on her heart, feeling its rhythmic thump echoing with intentions beyond her understanding. "Do you hear that?" she asked, her voice soft yet urgent. Jonah looked at her, confused but intrigued. "Hear what, Clara?" "The whispers, they're urging us forward. It feels like we're on the cusp of something grand." The villagers turned their gazes toward the rising moon, now glowing like a pearl against the deepening sky. It called to them, like a lighthouse in a storm urging sailors home. Clara felt it guiding her, pulling her spirit into the mystery. She stepped forward, feeling every heartbeat in unison with those behind her. "Let us move toward the light, toward this promise. Let our hearts be open to what may come." In that sacred moment, as they walked on together, Clara's breath caught, filled with gratitude and wonder. The air shimmered with possibility. And just then, Clara spotted something on the ground, a glimmer catching the moonlight. Curiosity igniting within her, she bent down to pick it up. What could it be? Perhaps a clue, a gift from the universe just waiting to reveal its significance. As she held the object closely, the villagers gathered around her, their eyes filled with anticipation, eager to discover the meaning that lay hidden beneath the surface. What sacred message awaited them? What revelation lingered beyond that shining treasure? Clara held the small object in her palm, a smooth stone, polished by the tides of time. It gleamed under the moon's soft embrace, radiating warmth like a hearth in the depths of winter. Gazing at it, Clara felt an inexplicable pull towards it, as if it were a remnant of all their shared sorrow and love. "This stone," she began, her voice steady despite the emotion swirling within her. "I feel it carries the weight of our journeys, the tears we've shed, and the laughter we've shared." She lifted it, allowing the moonlight to dance on its surface, highlighting its edges like the facets of their new understanding. Each villager leaned in closer, drawn by the sacredness of the moment, eyes glistening with newfound clarity. "It's a reminder," she continued, "that every ending is but a whisper of a beginning, an invitation to embrace our collective transformation." The villagers nodded, a symphony of hearts engaged in silent testimony. As Clara spoke, she noticed a shimmering aura emanating from the stone, illuminating her surroundings. It was as if the essence of every prayer uttered beneath the chapel, each whisper of hope and appeal for grace, was coalescing within this humble object. She turned to the villagers, their spirits woven together like threads in a divine tapestry, each gleaming with the light of purpose. In that scene, a gentle breeze swirled around them, accompanying the moon's rise as if nature itself rejoiced at their epiphany. Clara sensed that they were all connected through this moment which stretched beyond the physical realm to embrace the eternal. The air buzzed with expectation. Whatever revelations would come next, they would not face them alone. "What if," Jonah ventured, breaking the reverence with a quivering voice, "this stone is not just a stone? What if it symbolizes hope, love, and unity?" His words hung in the air, each syllable igniting a spark of recognition in their hearts. "Yes," Eliza chimed in, "we can each build our own stones of remembrance, allowing our shared grief to become the foundation of our future." Clara's eyes shimmered with tears of joy. "We carry them in our hearts. These experiences of loss and love, they strengthen the fabric of our connection, enriching our shared journey. Together, we walk forward into the light of what is yet to be revealed." A chorus of amen echoed through the night, a collective acknowledgement of their united strength. Clara felt the weight of the villagers' hopes coalesce like a divine cloud above them, illuminating the path that lay ahead. "Now, let us create a sacred ritual," Clara proposed, emboldened by their enthusiasm. "Let us each take a moment to share a memory of our loved ones who have passed, placing our stones in a circle of remembrance. We'll allow their essence to mingle with the light we create tonight." The villagers nodded in agreement, each person moving into action, hearts ready to honor their loved ones. One by one, they spoke aloud, sharing stories that twinkled like starlight, the love that transcended the veil of life and death, connecting them in unseen bonds. With each memory unveiled, Clara observed how the energy shifted, weaving a luminous spiral above them, illuminating their spirits. It felt as if a divine presence permeated the air, wrapping around them, affirming their hopes and sorrows alike. As the last villager wrapped up their story, the winds whispered softly around them, a gesture of affirmation from the universe. Clara held the polished stone close to her heart, feeling the warmth pulsate in rhythm with her breathing. "This sacred stone," she declared, raising it high, "will stand as a beacon of our transformation. A testament to the love we carry forward." With that, Clara set the stone at the center of their circle, a symbolic heart of their community, a place through which their love would flourish. The villagers surrounded it, their joined hands forming an unbreakable bond. In that instant, they became more than a collection of individuals, they became a living testimony to love, rebirth, and divine connection. Clara closed her eyes, feeling a profound wave of peace wash over her, her heart swelling with gratitude. The path was now clear, a journey illuminated by love and remembrance, ready to embrace the divine unfolding that awaited them beyond the horizon. As they stood together, a warmth enveloped them, an affirmation that their spirits would carry on, assured that in love, there were no final goodbyes. Each member of the village felt power igniting deep within, a promise that awaited them, whispering, beckoning forward, and in that celestial moment, Clara understood, though they would face trials and tribulations ahead, they wouldn't walk the path alone. They were bonded not just by shared grief, but an invincible faith that would guide them through the darkest of nights into the brilliance of the dawn. Now, dear friends, this is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that will ignite your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this hope across the world. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this glorious ending, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of divine love. Don't wait even one more second. Only true servants of God understand the importance of uplifting hearts.